The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
I'm surrounded by sophisticated people. My co-host is a lawyer, and then we've got a doctor in the house, too.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff.
Nervous?
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much so.
You gotta have to use your big words now, okay?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
Use big words?
Yeah, I know.
We got Dr. Holly Beach on from Banner University Medicine, joining us in studio to talk about sports-related injuries and recovery and all sorts of other things. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, as far as like sports injuries go, what are some of the common injuries that you deal with on a weekly basis?
I see a lot of acute injuries. So those are injuries that kind of happen on the field, sprains, fractures, those sorts of things. And then I also do see a lot of overuse injuries, things that happen from, repetitive exercise and just not training properly.
Well, I want to follow up on that because, I'm a guy that, has coached for many years, and I'm a proponent of multi-sport athletes. And right now we're seeing a trend where young athletes are playing the same sport year-round.
Yep.
And getting a lot of pressure to stay in that sport, not playing anything else. Does that contribute to some of the injuries that you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. So that repetition and overload on our muscle groups, on our skeleton, that really takes a toll. So one of the biggest things that we can advocate, especially for our young athletes, is cross-training. It makes them better athletes. It prevents them from those types of injuries. I think is really the way to go.
Preach. Speaking from the mountaintop, it drives me nuts. The other thing that I've heard talked about, and if you don't know the answer to this, it's okay, but we see in basketball, especially at the NBA level, a lot of Achilles injuries. And, growing up and watching basketball for as many years as I have, people, they'd hurt their knees, sprain their ankle, but you didn't see people's Achilles go out on the court. And it seems like if you wear number 0, that's a death knell. If you want to keep your Achilles, change your number. But is it the shoes that they're wearing? Is it the way they're training? Has there been any discussion about why so many more Achilles injuries?
Yeah, there's lots to talk about that. And again, I do think that comes back to that overuse and repetition. It also can relate to the number of years that people are playing as well. I think the longer you're at it, the more apt you are to have those types of injuries. And we see those in recreational athletes too. It's not an uncommon injury for me to see in, our adult soccer leagues, people who come in who've had an acute, complete rupture of their Achilles, or people who are just doing workouts in the gym as well.
Wow.
I've heard of some people rupturing their Achilles while playing pickleball. Have you had any pickleball injuries?
I have had, yes. Yep. There's a big market for pickleball injuries, especially here in Tucson. I think there's a lot. It's one of those sports that involves that plant pivot and that explosive push-off. And so that tends to be when it goes.
So you're saying pickleball's been good for business?
It has. Pickleball, it's good for a lot of things. I'm certainly an advocate for staying active, and I really do admire folks that just can keep at it for years and years. But yes, it does keep us busy.
Yeah.
So being here in Tucson, Arizona, it's hot, right? And we've got football training camp. Guys are getting ready for the upcoming football season. What are the biggest differences between heat illness and a heat stroke?
So heat illness, heat stroke, this all exists on a continuum. So, there's just really simple cases of just getting a little bit overheated, a little bit dehydrated, things that will resolve pretty quickly with some shade and some hydration. Heat illness is when the symptoms start to become a little bit more severe. But as we move into heat stroke, we're talking about people who have changes in their cognition. They're not thinking clearly anymore. They have very significant changes in just their ability to function and their overall state, and that becomes a medical emergency, of course.
So it was maybe 2-3 years ago, I went to the driving range and I was hitting some golf balls, and it was hot. It was really hot, and I wasn't feeling right. And I was like, I need to go cool down. I need to sit in my car, drink some water. And when I got in the car, like it almost felt like my body like shut down and then restarted like a computer. What is that?
That's an interesting comparison. I haven't heard anyone use that sort of analogy, but I think
Like it was like it went black for like 5 seconds and then just like came back.
So it sounds like you were headed in a bad direction, and then once you were able to remove yourself from the elements and get some cooler air and maybe a little hydration,
You literally rebooted.
yeah, you restarted.
No, seriously, like
Yeah.
I sat in the car and I was like, man, I am so hot right now. And then it just went,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm back.
And now he goes out and covers the Arizona football team, and he refuses to wear a bucket hat or long sleeve shirt. And you can see how gingery he is, and he's just asking for it,
Yeah,
right?
no lessons learned there.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
come on. I wear plenty of sunscreen.
Yeah.
I wear a hat. It's not a straw hat, but I do wear a hat.
A baseball cap?
A baseball hat.
Yeah, no, dude.
Or like a dad cap that barely covers
You
my
got a
face.
doctor echoing what I've been trying to tell you, and you're just like still want to be stubborn
No,
about it.
I'm not stupid about it.
The sunscreen's protecting you from a sunburn, so you won't have a farmer's tan, but
Yeah.
you might be incoherent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which explains your writing. So anyway, doctor, if people want to get more information of what are the right things to do, right? Is there somewhere to go?
Yeah. I think if you go to the Banner Health website, there's lots of information about heat illness. The CDC also has some very good information as well. I think the main things to remember are that the heat, especially when it's humid outside, can have a pretty severe impact. We underestimate the importance of humidity. You want to stay as hydrated as possible and pre-hydrate, so you're not waiting until you're thirsty to drink, because that reflex might not be there. And then also trying to acclimate. So you want to ease into exercise when the conditions aren't right.
Speaking of monsoon and humidity, what does that do to your body?
So the humidity makes it more difficult to sweat, and for that sweat to evaporate, and for your body to cool itself.
Okay. And then as far as like training, we talk about football training camp and how hot it can get. And I feel like teams are not practicing in the middle of the afternoon like they used to. See, back in our day, we'd practice at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where it feels like more teams are moving either towards the evening times or early in the morning.
Yeah, there's lots of evidence to suggest that practicing in the heat of the day is really detrimental. Not only do kids or adults get sick during that time, but they're not maximizing the benefits of exercise. So if we can exercise early in the morning or wait until the evening when the heat index is lower, then you're going to get more out of the training.
Wait a minute. You mean not practicing in the dead heat of the summer and siphoning, not letting your players drink water? That doesn't make them tougher?
Right.
No?
The torture. The torture doesn't pay off.
Man, I have some football coaches back in the day. It's like, you can't just say you don't get water unless you get this done. I'm like, that's crazy. And we're practicing at 2:30.
I know. It's
I think
110
there's
outside.
Yeah.
Definitely, there was a what doesn't kill them makes them stronger
Right.
mentality, but unfortunately it was killing some of them.
Right,
so.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So electrolytes are very important. What are good ways of consuming electrolytes? Because I know there are also bad ways too, right? You can't just house a bunch of Gatorades and say, I'm getting my electrolytes in. It's like
Yeah.
Gatorades can be bad for you.
Yeah, you want to be careful about that, because a lot of those drinks contain a lot of sugar. A lot of them also contain a lot of caffeine and other types of stimulants that we really would like to avoid. I think alternating an electrolyte drink or an electrolyte packet with water can be really helpful to replace especially that sodium that you're losing when you sweat.
Well, doctor, along those lines, I know there's a lot of people that they do these pre-workout drinks before they work out, and then your heart is racing. I mean, have you seen a lot of issues with people consuming either too much or the wrong product before they work out?
Yeah, we see it all the time. People who are pounding these drinks or stimulants thinking that it's going to help them get gains in the gym. And a lot of times they're even using those drinks when their bodies are depleted and they're exhausted and they're really not in a space to be pushing themselves. So most definitely we've seen some pretty significant cardiac events.
100 million grams of caffeine, maybe not a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Not a good
yes,
choice.
Yeah, right.
All right, before we let you go, Doctor, the Banner University Medicine's sports medicine program, any other details or anything that you can provide us?
No, well, I guess I would tell you that this time of year we've got lots of people who are starting up exercise. Some people waiting for the heat to cool down, but just to ease into things, make sure you're acclimating to the heat, and then also not overdoing it.
That is Dr. Holly Beach. She's a sports medicine doctor at Banner University Medicine.
And Justin, just because she said not overdoing it doesn't mean like, you know what, I don't need to work out.
I just don't need to do it. Because the
doctor told me not to overdo it. So if I don't do it, I can't get over.
Just saying, man. You can't overdo it if you don't do it.